Hey y'all, welcome back to Technique by Cowboy. Now today I want to go over a very specific part of your back handspring. We're going to focus on strength and flexibility in the shoulders in the middle of your handspring. Now I see a ton of problems with this when I'm training athletes due to flexibility or strength deficiencies. In this process it can cause a ton of things that are under rotation or lack of block, landing with your chest down. If you have any of these problems, I'm going to go through specific shapes, drills, progressions, and movement that's going to help you get through this back handspring with a stronger shape and a harder block to finish in a better position. Now, again, I'm not going to teach a back handspring from step 1 to step 11, but we're going to go over those middle pieces that are going to help to strengthen your back handspring as you progress. Some of the things I go over today are going to have specific terms that you might call something different, or you've heard it a different way, which is fine. But I promise that everything you see today is incorporated into your back handspring. Regardless of where you learned it or what you're doing, this is going to make you stronger. So as we're working on these transitions, we're going from an arch position out of your jump back into a hollow position into the snap down. And that's our area of focus today, making sure that we have a neutral chin, open shoulders, and good movement through our hips, and then our snap down, creating a hollow position that we reference as a madcap. Now, I'll go into that with our athlete Kinsley that's gonna help us out today, and we'll start a few drills. All right, so I have Kinsley here with me to help us show and identify some very specific parts of shoulder strength and flexibility in our back handspring. Now, one of the most crucial things to identify is your bridge shape, because essentially that's what your back handspring is. So, Kinsley, will you mind just sit down for me, and we're gonna push up and show everybody what a good bridge should look like. So, as she pushes up, you're gonna notice a few things. Her legs are together, her knees are straight, her chin is down so she can spot the ceiling, and her shoulders are open. Now this is the most important part. We're trying to gain flexibility in the shoulders, not in the lower back. Go ahead and come down. And then Kinsley, will you show us a bad bridge so we know what not to do at home? Good. So her feet are apart, her head is down, she sees the floor, her arms are too wide, and you notice how this increases a huge bend in the lower back. This is what we don't want. It'll start to hurt her back flexibility later and also give her some more issues. So go ahead and come down. So that's very important, is first to identify that you have a correct bridge shape. Now, one of the most important strength factors in a shape of your back handspring is something that everyone uses. We just give it a name. So we're gonna call this a madcap. That's what all of our athletes know this shape as. It's just a hollow blocking position that you're gonna come out of your handspring in, and this is gonna gain all of your strength off of your hands. So Kinsley, will you show us a madcap? Now, when you're identifying this shape, you're looking for a few things. Her shoulders are round, her back, it goes flat from her ribs to her toes, her body is in a straight line, her chin is down in between her arms, and her shoulders are slightly behind her hands. So this is our madcap shape. Now this is something very important to identify and practice so that you have a completely correct and strong madcap shape. So once you've mastered your madcap shape, we're gonna learn how to build strength in movement, something that you can do in your grass, in your living room, anywhere on the floor. This is a safe environment. So, Kinsley, I want you to do a handstand and then fall into your madcap. So as you're watching this, I want you to spot a couple things. She has a good line pushing into her handstand. Go ahead. And she's spotting her toes as they fall, hollow in her shoulders. Her head is neutral, and she holds that madcap shape perfectly as it lands. A handstand has to be a prerequisite for a handspring. So if you're working on these, make sure you have a solid handstand. You should have a back walkover up to this point, but if you don't, I understand, just use a handstand variation. But in advanced version, we're gonna go through a back walkover close to our handstand, and then force our shoulders through that open shape as we snap down into our madcap. Go ahead, Kinsley. Her chin is down, her eyes are neutral, shoulders are rounded, everything looks great. Okay, so like I've explained before, this is not a tutorial of how to learn a back handspring, but we're focusing on flexibility and strength in the shoulders, especially in the middle half of your back handspring. This is gonna allow you to create the snap effect and give you a stronger block coming off of your back handspring. Now, there's a few shapes that we wanna identify to make sure that we do correctly. In the middle of the handstand, this is a visual of what the middle of your handspring should look like. So, Kinsley, put your arms up for me. As she jumps back and she gets to the middle of her handspring, she's gonna be in this long bridge that we've already established. Her head is neutral. She's gonna open her shoulders, this is the flexibility where it becomes important, and then her hips, and then her toes into her hollow madcap shape, and then we're displaying the strength of this section. both of them combined, but we're transitioning from an arch, open, flexibility position to a hollow strength position. Both of those are very crucial during this position of your back handspring. So I want to go over a couple drills that you can use in your house, anywhere you're at. Now these are going to promote both flexibility and strength in the inverted position of your back handspring. So if you're having trouble with flexibility, if you're trying to get a stronger block, if there's something deficient in the middle of your back handspring, this is going to be a world of help for you. So we're going to put Kinsley into an inverted L position. You can use your couch, you can use whatever you want, as long as your parents say it's okay. But this is what we're going to do. So Kinsley, put your hands on the ground. You're going to put your toes up to here. Good. She's going to make an L shape with her body, just like this. Now, Kinsley, try to push your armpits towards the mat. Here we go. Now, this is where she's using her shoulder strength to hold this position, but she's gaining flexibility by forcing her armpits towards the bottom of the floor to open these shoulders up behind her ears. That's the most important part. As you're doing this, pull your head up for me. Make sure that your chin is not out. At this point, you're stretching a different part of your body. Very crucial. The chin is always neutral in between the ears, and then forcing the armpits towards the bottom. Another way to implement a drill that's going to help build not only strength but flexibility, this time we're going to put it in motion. So Kinsley's going to do that same long, strong bridge that we worked on earlier in our video, up a wedge. Again, you can use a couch cushion, you can get a mat at home, you can do this on a flat surface, wherever you would like. We did a little bit of an incline because it's a drill that Kinsley just learned, so it makes it a little bit easier to start the development of this process. So go ahead and push back to a bridge for me. So notice she's giving me a good bridge shape. Her chin is in, she can see the ceiling, her armpits are open, her legs are straight. Now from this point, Kinsley's gonna bend her knees and then push towards her shoulders to create a jump. Now, I'm training her to learn how to build strength holding her body up. Go ahead and do that a couple times for me, Kinsley.
Oh.
Yep. Now she's producing flexibility in her shoulders from her head position. She's developing strength in her shoulders, and she's doing it all while exhibiting the same movement and shape that she's going to use in her back handspring. Finally, we're going to work on the strength of blocking out of this middle transition in your back handspring. Now, you are still in your mad cat shape during this blocking phase, so we're going to go ahead and put, Kinsley, will you put your feet up on the mat for me? Now, again, you can use any surface. You can use an ottoman or your couch or your bed or whatever your parents say is okay. But the key is to make sure that that mad cat shape that we talked about earlier is still activated. Your chin is down, you're spotting whatever your feet are on, and then all we're gonna do is relax our body towards our hands and then shrug through our shoulders. So we're building the strength of how to block out of your back handspring to gain this in the position that the body should be in as we're standing up off of this shape. Now, the surface that you put your feet on will increase or decrease the weight in your hands. So if this is easy for you, put them up on a higher surface, it'll get a little bit harder. If it's too hard for you, put them on a lower surface and it starts to get easier. Either way, it's a great drill to help build strength. Kinsey, go ahead and stand up. Thank you for your help. Give me a high five. Wave to your brand new audience. Hopefully we helped you out. As long as you continue to work on those shapes, the strength and the flexibility, I know that your handspring is gonna get so much better. It's gonna be faster, it's gonna be stronger, and you're gonna be a more well-rounded athlete because of these steps. Now, be sure to practice this with parent supervision, get checked off by a coach, make sure that this is the skill that you should be working on before you attempt it. Again, safety is always our #1 concern. If you like this video, click the like button below. Be sure to subscribe to our channel so that you see future videos about other skills that we're gonna be working on. And with that said, put a message in our comment, let me know, what is it that you're wanting to work on? What do you have a deficiency with? How can I help you? And then next week, I'll put a video out that goes directly towards whatever it is you're asking for. So, again, I'm Cowboy. Thanks for coming to work on your technique. I'll see you next week.